Everyone has an opinion on the real estate market. Just ask your landscaper or hairdresser. But seriously, there's nothing like being boots on the ground or knowing the statistics and the real estate trends. And you need to know what to watch for and what indicators are really important. They actually tell a story as to what the real estate market is doing. Believe it or not, we are already through the first quarter of 2022, and there are some changes. Here on the southeast coast of Florida, there is a lot going on, and in this video, I'm going to give you facts to answer the question, is the real estate market hot or not? Well, I have the most current released housing numbers, and I will tell you the reality of the real estate market in Florida and really like what to expect. And it will also surprise you on how much more it will cost you to purchase a home in 2022 than it did the same time last year in 2021. You'll want to hear this if you are planning to move to the great state of Florida and maybe even the Treasure Coast, or if you're planning to sell your home, you need to see if the market is hot or not. Florida has a very unique housing market. It was growing before the pandemic, but since then, it's unbelievable. When everything shut down, many decided to come to Florida, some because they already had a second home here, and some because they wanted to leave their lockdown state and really think about it, why not work from Florida in the sun rather in the north with gloomy days and snow? Well, in addition, the appeal of no state income tax, our beautiful beaches and waterways, and warm sunny weather continues to attract residents, investors, and second home buyers, and especially in the work from anywhere world of today. Florida is growing by over 1,000 people a day, and they all need housing. Here's a fact you probably don't know, but in Martin and St. Lucie counties, or some call it the Treasure Coast, we are expecting to see a 17% increase in our population over the next decade. Well, believe me, when I'm out driving, sometimes our roads are so busy that I really think that the growth is right now. In the past, we could sort of count that our restaurants and roads sort of slowed down a little bit in May, which we would call the off season, but now it doesn't seem to change, and that seems like a distant past occurrence. What are the current housing numbers? Well, prices in this area are up over 27% from the same time last year. The sales are down about 30% in Martin and Palm Beach County and about 4% in St. Lucie County. And they're only down because there isn't much inventory, which it remains unchanged at about a 1-month supply. What about rising interest rates? It could be a major factor slowing home sales in the future. With rising interest rates, along with a combination of higher sale prices and extremely low housing supply, it is sort of a recipe for the possibility of leveling out. But I have to say that it will probably only hit the segment of workforce or affordable housing, which is already hurting with so much not available. There is still a lot of cash out there, and investors are ready to buy, displacing buyers who really want to make that property their home. Skyrocketing rents. Well, rents have escalated so much over the past year that it is becoming more and more difficult for tenants. We are seeing rental rates increasing by almost 60% more than they were the previous year. Much of this is due to supply and demand, higher tax rates, and insurance premiums, which the landlords are passing along to the tenants. So what does all this mean to determine if the market is hot or not? So let me go over a few of these things with you. Number one, we'll talk about rising interest rates. Well, that may slow down purchasing power for the affordable housing, and sellers may need to make adjustments in that market segment. But some of the sales that we just discussed a minute ago were really under contract before the interest rates had risen. So we don't really know how it's going to look, but we'll have to keep a close look to see if this might create a little bit of cooling off in the housing market. Also, with the stock market decreasing, people are pulling their money out and investing into real estate. That means more cash into the housing housing market, and then interest rates really don't have an impact. Number 3, devastatingly low inventory. This is really putting pressure on upward prices on property. Until we can increase our inventory to somewhere between 3 and 6 months, which will take a while, the demand on housing will continue and drive home prices up. Also, if someone is moving from the East Coast or West Coast or the North, well, they think that our prices are very reasonable and they are willing to pay the higher prices, and it's keeping our market at a steady upward growth. And basically, it's really tough for the residents of Florida. So right now, we are poised to have a hot real estate market through 2022. Now, I say this with caution. As we head into hurricane season, we don't know what kind of storms that might be, and it's an election year, so why would that matter? Well, many times during an election year, the market slows a little because the people are waiting to see what direction the United States will take. If that happens this time, because we've got such high demand for real estate, it could be different this year, but we could possibly gain additional inventory in the third or fourth quarter, but that's just speculation on my part for you to think about. Then what about the notion is, will we have a real estate crash? Well, I know you're going to be able to answer this question once I give you a couple things to think about. Today's market is completely different than the Great Recession. And why is that? Well, there's one word. It's cash. Many people pay cash for their homes. Do you think that homeowners will walk away and leave the cash they invested? Unlike the last time in the Great Recession, where people ended up overextending financially and they didn't care because they had no skin in the game. Plus, unlike before, with very few rentals available and the extraordinary rental rates, do you think homeowners will walk from their home to the unknown rental market of high prices, and even if they can find one? So now I bet you've answered the question about the housing crash. It doesn't seem likely with even just those two factors of too much cash out there in the properties and where would someone live. Well, I didn't forget to tell you about the difference of the cost of a home in 2022 from the same time in 2021. If you factor in the increase of the home prices and the rise in interest rates, according to Lawrence Yun, our chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, you will be paying 55% more this year than you would have in 2021. Yes, I did say 55%. Looking at these factual statements on the real estate market should make it easier for you to understand it just a little better. Sold properties are down due to lack of inventory, prices are up, and there is no increase in inventory in sight right now. So I would answer my question that I asked in this video, is the real estate market hot or not? And I would tell you it's hot. If you are a seller and thinking of selling to cash out because of these great housing prices and don't have another home, I have one piece of advice for you. If that decision to sell your home is going to make you a buyer, then you have missed the entire point. So please comment below with any questions you may have on real estate so I can assist you and maybe give you some other ideas. And for more information to help you maneuver in the real estate market, let's go to this video together, which will be helpful to you in buying or selling real estate. Until next time.